This is question number 33 from the August 2017 Algebra 1 Regent. Loretta and her family are going on vacation. Their destination is 610 miles from their home. Loretta is going to share some of the driving with her dad. Her average speed while driving is 55 miles per hour, and her dad's average speed while driving is 65 miles per hour. The plan is for Loretta to drive for the first 4 hours of the trip, and her dad to drive for the remainder of the trip. Determine the number of hours it will take the family to reach their destination. That's the first part of the question, and then after that we're going to move on to the second part of the question. So we need to find how long it would take the family to reach their destination. And we know that Loretta is going to drive for 4 hours, so what we need to do is find how long her dad is going to drive for, then add the amount of hours that her dad is going to drive for to the 4 hours that Loretta is going to drive. So we need to set up an equation. We know that the total distance that the family is driving to the destination is 610 miles. And Loretta's speed is 55 miles per hour. And the amount of time that Loretta is driving is 4 hours. Loretta's dad's speed is 65 miles per hour. And the amount of time that Loretta's dad is driving for, we don't know. That's what we're solving for. Because then we're going to add whatever we get for x to the 4 hours that Loretta is driving. Using this information, we're going to set up an equation. We know that the total distance is 610. And the distance that Loretta is driving is 4 hours times 55 miles per hour. Because she's driving 55 miles per hour for 4 hours. So each of the 4 hours, she's driving 55 miles. Plus Loretta's dad's speed, which is 65 miles per hour, times however many hours he's driving. So this is the total distance that Loretta is driving. This is the total distance that Loretta's dad is driving. And this is the total distance. So the sum of Loretta's distance plus her dad's distance is the total distance. Now we're going to solve this for x, which is the amount of time that Loretta's dad is driving for. So 610 is equal to 4 times 55, which is 220, plus 65x. And we're going to solve this for x, so minus 220, minus 220. 610 minus 220 is 390. 390 is equal to 65x, divide by 65, divide by 65. X is equal to 390 divided by 65, which is 6. So Loretta's dad is going to drive for 6 hours. Therefore, the total amount of time that it will take them is the amount of time that Loretta is driving for, which is 4 hours, plus the amount of time that her dad is driving for, which is 6 hours. So it'll take them 10 hours total to reach their destination. Now let's move on to the second part of the question. After Loretta has been driving for 2 hours, she gets tired and asks her dad to take over. Determine to the nearest tenth of an hour how much time the family will save by having Loretta's dad drive for the remainder of the trip. So now, instead of Loretta driving for 4 hours, Loretta is only driving for 2 hours. And Loretta's dad is driving the remainder of the trip. But it's not going to take them 10 hours anymore because her dad is driving faster. He's driving 10 miles per hour faster. So let's write an equation to figure out how long her dad is driving for now, assuming that Loretta is only driving for 2 hours instead of 4 hours. So the total distance is still going to be 610 miles. It's not getting any closer. Loretta's speed is still going to be 55 miles per hour. The amount of time that Loretta is driving is now only going to be 2 hours instead of 4 hours. Loretta's dad's speed is still 65 miles per hour. And the amount of time that Loretta's dad is driving, we don't know. Once again, we're solving for this. We're going to use a different variable. Let's use y this time. And let's set up a new equation, just like the old equation. 610, the total distance, is equal to the distance that Loretta is driving, which is 55 miles per hour, for however many hours she's driving, which is 2 hours, plus her dad's speed, which is 65 miles per hour, times the amount of time that he's driving for, which is y. So 610 is equal to 55 times 2, which is 110, plus 65y. And we're going to solve for y, minus 110 and minus 110. 610 minus 110 is 500. 500 is equal to 65y. Divide by 65 and divide by 65. Y is equal to 500 divided by 65, which is 7.69. Let's round that off to 7.7. So that's the total amount of time that Loretta's dad is driving for. And since her dad is driving for 7.7 hours, and Loretta is driving for 2 hours, the total amount of time that's going to take them now is going to be 7.7 hours plus 2 hours, which is 9.7 hours. So it used to be that it's going to take them 10 hours, but now it's only taking them 9.7 hours. So we need to see how much time did they save by having her dad take over. And to find that, we're going to do the total time that it would have taken had Loretta driven, which is 10 hours, minus the amount of time that's taking them now by having her dad drive, which is 9.7 hours. And 10 minus 9.7 is 0.3. So they are going to save 0.3 hours having her dad drive instead of her.